RFM News for our sponsor, Guardia Jewellery, Toronto Town Square and the Esplanade, Warners Bay.
Good afternoon, I'm Annabelle Regan with 2NURFM Hunter News. The number of beds for the proposed hospital in the Lower Hunter is said to be reduced. New plans suggest a smaller hospital and a merging of services between Maitland and Morisset. This has come as particular concern for residents in Maitland, where the population is growing rapidly. Member for Maitland, Jenny Atchison, says this affects the hospital's employees as much as the community.
It's been clear that the government, after 5 years, will not commit to the size of hospital. Every time they talk about it, it's smaller than it was the last time. And you have workers in our health who are being worked to the absolute limit. And they are all doing this because they've got this shining beacon of the new hospital up ahead of them.
Meanwhile, Parliamentary Secretary for the Hunter, Scott McDonald, says the focus should not be put on the number of beds.
It's now about delivering health outcomes. It's about a beginning of life to end of life and all those services in between them. It's not about having a particular number of people sitting in a particular number of beds. It's about providing all those health care to keep them out of hospital. It's not a win to have the most number of beds for a hospital. I think that is a very antiquated way of looking at it.
A forced merger could be on the cards for Newcastle and Lake Macquarie councils. Both councils have submitted cases to IPART defending their positions, with a ruling expected in coming months. The New South Wales government has also suggested Maitland to take over Dungog Council. Lake Macquarie Mayor Jodie Harrison says a merge of councils will not benefit anyone.
I have always had the view that we should be making sure that local government is strong into the future. There's certainly changes that can be made in local government across the state for it to become sustainable. However, the evidence shows that amalgamation is certainly not in the best interest of the people of Lake Macquarie nor of Newcastle.
Mining operations in the Hunter are expected to experience cuts over the next 6 months, with Swiss mining giant Glencore announcing its plans to reduce coal exports. The news comes on the back of a failed attempt by Glencore to launch a joint venture with neighbouring coal giant Rio Tinto. The cutbacks are a result of a company wishing to avoid selling coal at a loss or heavily discounted price. 15 used vehicles sold by Boolaroo car dealer have been found to have had their odometers wound back and sold for up to 4 times the original purchase price. The owners of the business have been ordered to pay more than $47,000 in fines, compensation and court costs. Commissioner for Fair Trading Rob Stowe says used car buyers can conduct additional checks to ensure odometer readings are correct.
A particularly useful thing when it comes to odometer readings is the pink slip that is available after the last safety inspection of the motor vehicle, because it does record the odometer reading. If you're buying a vehicle privately, make sure that you have it checked over by somebody with technical experience.
Community voice is being lost in Newcastle, according to the Greens. The party called on the Baird government to open up talks about the city's revitalisation this weekend, with claims they are blocking discussion on key issues. The location of future light rail, planning controls for the city's east and the Wickham-Newcastle rail corridor are said to have been excluded from discussion. Greens councillor Dr Maureen Faruqi says the cuts don't benefit the city.
This is not the way to design transport in contemporary Newcastle in the 21st century. We need to put the services back on, and we actually need to expand public transport in Newcastle.
And the Paper Pilots program have flown into Cessnock East Public School today for Science Week. The program uses a variety of resources to help demonstrate the principles and science behind why the planes fly. Deborah McGuinn from Cessnock East Public says the cross-curricular program helps to motivate children to learn.
This is National Science Week this week, and at our school we really like the children to have experiences that help them to have excitement about learning, to be engaged and to feel that they are stimulated and enjoying their learning experience.
In finance, the All Ords is up 18 points at 53.78 and $1 Australian dollar is buying 73.74 US cents.
Sport for our sponsor, Warners Bay Sports Club, Fishing Expo, September 13.
The Knights' 24-18 win over the Tigers on Saturday saw the return to form of a number of key players. Aku Uate was among many players on the Knights roster struggling to maintain first-grade performances, but the dynamic winger bounced back with a try in the first half to silence his critics. Interim coach Danny Baderas was also pleased with the way Uate stepped up.
I'm really happy for him. It was a real good bounce-back game. No one runs the ball back like Aku, I don't think, in the National Rugby League when he's at the top of his game. So, he's an asset to our team, and we just got to make sure every week he's in the right headspace to perform.
The NPL soccer finals matchup are set with minor premiers Edgeworth taking on 4th placed Broadmeadow, with Lambton Jaffers and Olympic in the second semi. Broadmeadow secured their place in the semis with a 2-0 win on the weekend over Charlestown, while Olympic went down 2-0 to Maitland in their last game of the regular season. And an injury time try for Southern Beaches levelled the scores against University in their Newcastle Hunter Rugby Union clash on Saturday. Logan Hamopo had the chance to break the 25-all deadlock after the siren, but missed the sideline conversion. That's sport. I'm Georgia Lupton.
2NURF News Time is 2:05.